Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to this webinar. My name is Yogesh, and I welcome to all of you. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and I'm sure everybody has specially taken out some time between work to come and attend this session. So I'll try to make this much more informative for you. Just a brief about Century Financial. We are financial consultants. We are working actively to create strategies which can be used to understand the market volatility, and at the same time strategies which are taken care to understand any possible opportunities of investments into global markets. And this can be in the area of commodities like gold, silver, oil, rice, wheat, sugar, any currencies, any other precious metal based commodities, shares, indices, and a lot of other financial instruments. We have done in this series of webinars since last April, especially during the when the pandemic started, to create more and more awareness about how markets have been performing. And we have done webinars on crude oil prices. We have done webinars on stocks. We have done webinars on reopening stocks. And I see a lot of names here. They have attended my webinars before as well. So welcome to all of you collectively. Before I start this session, would like to thank everyone who have been a part of medical or healthcare industry, or who have known people there. Uh, it's been a kind of an unfortunate incident that how the pandemic uh, did got a lot of surprise for everyone, but at the same time the pandemic has ironically brought all of us together. So I, on behalf of my team of Century Financial, uh, thank to everyone in the medical area who's risking out their lives, and I hope and I wish a good health to everyone. Now, coming back to the topic, we are going to make this session more interactive. Obviously, we cannot have a face-to-face conversation or voice conversations, but let's make sure that the chat area which we have is more interactive and buzzing with questions. I'll try to answer these questions while I'm online. But if you have to go at any point of time and you want to come back and see this session, you can see it on YouTube. You can also have a one-on-one session with me. Just talk to your relationship managers. I'm sure you will be getting a call from our people, and you can have a one-on-one meeting with us, with me, with any of the market consultants, and we can clear your doubts. But please do ask questions if you have on the chat, and we'll try to make this much more interesting. Now, before I begin, very quick, I have one poll which I have created, and I would like you to vote, and then we will see the results. This is 23rd September. The first presidential debate will be conducted on 29th of September. Now, this is going to be historical. It's going to be a lot of fluctuations. There is going to be a lot of volatility as well. And we ourselves are doing a small vote in our office. We are doing presidential debates between our teams, and what are their ideologies, what do they stand for. So we have a lot of buzz in the office these days, and I just thought that I'll bring this to the webinar as well. So I would suggest everyone right now, I see a lot of people online, please, if you can vote, so I can understand then that what's your stand here. Nobody is right and wrong. As I say, this is all up to your understanding, your thinking. What do you think? Will it be Donald Trump, the next president, or it will be Joe Biden, the Democrat? The voting is started, guys. Go ahead, try and see. I think this is going to be one of the best times, and I will do keep doing this in every webinar every week just to understand what's your stand. We are soon going to come up with the strategies to understand which sectors will get more benefited if Joe Biden comes into presidency. What will be the impact on stocks? What will be the impact on oil prices? What will be the impact on commodities if either of these president or parties comes into the picture? So that again is a separate discussion. Today, why we have assembled, and while I'm talking, I'm seeing the votes are still continuing. So I just hope that more people join and they continue to vote on this, and then I'll finally end the poll. So today we are doing this session to understand market neutral strategies. And I did this session before as well, but then since then till now, there have a lot of other strategies been added. So I thought, because market neutral strategy is something not only to try to beat COVID-19, but also now US elections are coming. There will be a lot of buzz, there will be a lot of volatility, there will be a lot of fluctuation. So when I say volatility, volatility is the rate at which a price of a financial instrument goes up and down. Now, it's really important to understand what role does volatility plays in our investments. I have my live platform already open, okay, and I'll show you what happened between last 3 months when the world reopened and when in March the pandemic happened. So from March to September, it's already been 6 months. So you will see the performance of a lot of stocks in last 6 months and compare their performance in last 1 year and see how it's been. So you will realize that there have been a lot of fluctuations. Things which have gone down, which had gone down historically, have gone up to historic highs. It's been a V-shaped recovery for a lot of companies. However, some companies like Boeing or Airbus, they have still not recovered because there is a fear of second wave which is expected, right? So today, what we are going to do is we're going to discuss some strategies which can be very helpful in beating the volatility which occurs during this time, because the up and down fluctuations, no matter what decision you take, that should I buy Facebook, should I buy Apple, should I buy Amazon, or should I buy apart from tech sector, what should I invest into, volatility will still be a part of this, right? So the strategies which I'm going to tell you, there the risk element will always be there, but it will be something which will not be very conventional. Okay, this is something which will be different from buying a stock and keeping it for 5 years or 10 years, or this will be different from buying gold and keeping a stop loss and selling. This will be something which will be done in pairs, which will be done both long and short. So another question which I want to ask, let me end this poll first and you can see the results. So for now, I'm sure everybody understands here the results of the polling. 54% of of the people here, they feel Donald Trump, they vote for Donald Trump as a Republican president. 45% still feel Joe Biden. So as you can see, among you, all of you here, there is still a very close call between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. It's not a one-sided vote anymore. So that means more fluctuations and more volatility because things are more uncertain. Sometimes Joe Biden takes the lead, sometimes Donald Trump takes the lead. Presidential debate is going to be on 29th September, and entire October there will be more and more debates. In November will be final elections, and which will bring a lot of market fluctuations. Right now, to start with, I will keep switching from my presentation to my different flyers to my live platform. So I hope that the transition is smooth, and please um, go ahead and keep asking questions over the chat, and I'll try to answer that. Now, uh, needless to say, whatever strategies I will be bringing in here, or whatever discussion we have over chat, all these strategies are based on a lot of analysis which is done by our experts, and these analyses are done uh, during market conditions presently. We expect what we have seen in the historic past, we assemble that data. What is the current market conditions? We understand and we assess those conditions, and then we try to formulate a strategy which might be helpful for you in understanding or reducing the volatility in your portfolio. But needless to say, market conditions change, and everybody have their own risk appetite. So please, whatever I speak to you here, you understand it. But if you want to take that trade, or if you want to be a part of that strategy, please consult your financial consultants, financial experts over here in Century. Assess your risk, understand, do not borrow money or take a loan these are derivatives, and it can lead to loss of your deposit money also. So please be very careful. None of this, what I'm saying, is a recommendation. These are just information which I would like to share it with you. Now, market neutral investing. When we talk about market neutral investing, it's a very old term, and a lot of strategies which I'm going to tell you have been done before, but people barely hear about these things because these are the things which is done by hedge fund managers, and a lot of traders in their daily lives they use these strategies. Now, market neutral investing in itself, when we talk about the term market and neutral, two words. Now, the entire focus, the nut bolts of market neutral will be it will involve simultaneously buying one asset class and then short selling the other asset class to take advantage of the underpriced and the overpriced instruments. Now, idea is very simple. These strategies are shown to you to understand the concept that these strategies aim to provide positive returns in both when markets are going up or when markets are going down. And how that happens because these two instruments which you will see, these two are relatable instruments. For example, let me start by saying this, and since your chat option is open, I can see everybody texting you right now. There are a lot of questions coming in. I'll try to answer this. Tell me, when I say the word MasterCard, what's the next relatable company into your mind? Please put it on chat. If you can hear me, put it on chat. When I say the word MasterCard, what's the next relative company you feel it comes into your mind? Similarly, when I say Pepsi, what's the next word comes into your mind? Right? Okay, okay, okay. Perfect. Okay, great. Yeah. So I think the concept is very clear. So exactly. So when I say Pepsi, the next word comes is Coke. When I say MasterCard, the next comes in Visa. Why? Because these two are very much relatable companies, and they face the same challenges, they target the same market, they have the same regulation, they have the same aim, so same product. So when you say, so it's not like Coca-Cola is allowed to do something and Pepsi is not. They both will face the same regulation, they have the same challenges when it comes to the target market. So what happens is their graph or their stock price also moves in a similar direction. When we see Pepsi going up, we have seen a lot of times Coke also moving higher. The prices can be different, but the movement of the direction is same. Unless one of it deviates and goes down for some reason, another goes up. That's where the arbitrage opportunity comes in, and that's where we do a market neutral strategy. Because when we see a deviation between two relatable products, we buy one and we short sell another to ensure that when the gap comes close, you end up in a net profit, hopefully looking at the historical prices. So equity market neutral, specifically equity market neutral, when we talk about equity over here, when I be using the word equity, I'll be talking about stocks, indices. Okay. Stocks means the shares of the companies. Indices means a stock market index which tracks the performance of a bunch of companies. Like in India, it is BSE Sensex. In US, it is Dow Jones, Nasdaq, S&P 500. In Germany, it is German 30. In Italy, it's Italian 40. So like this, there are a lot of equity market strategies, new market neutral strategies which you can look into. Now, the graph which you see right now, the very clear definition of a market neutral investing is that it aims to reduce the market overall broader market risk on your investment. So the chart which you see, look at the horizontal axis, which is from left to right. If first thing, if you buy shares and leave it for 10 years, that means your market risk is less. How many of you think? How many of you think that if you buy, uh, say, any share and let others manage it, right? Let somebody else, or not let others manage it. Let's say you bought some shares and you left it for 5 years. Are you protected from the market risk? Please answer yes or no. Just on the chat, go ahead, yes or no. I'm just trying to make this more interactive and more useful for you. If you buy shares of Coca-Cola and leave it for 5 years, does it makes you completely away, or does it reduces your market risk? This is very important to understand. Okay, I get one yes, I get one no. Okay, again a yes. Okay, okay. Market risk is there. Yes, no. Okay. So I think the opinion is clearly divided, but most of you, some of you feel that it protects you from the market risk, uh, or it reduces the market risk. Some of you feel it does not. Guys, see, technically speaking, it does not reduces your market risk or protects you from market risk. So when I say market risk means that tomorrow, if a pandemic comes, will your stock fall down or not? It will fall down irrespectively, because whether you invest for 5 years or 10 years, it doesn't matter how long you've invested for. If there is something going on in market and your stock is vulnerable to it, then it will come down, right? So it does not even reduce your market risk. So passive equities, which is the bottom of this chart, passive equity means when you buy and when you keep it and hold on to it. You don't hire an active fund manager to look at the market currently and do something, change your situation, and protect you from this risk. No, you just buy Facebook and keep it for 5 years. But this is passive investing. But that doesn't mean it will reduce your market risk or it will protect you from market risk, right? Similarly, when you see active investing or active equities also will not protect you from market risk. It will not. If you have a fund manager, okay, if fund manager purchased XYZ shares and a pandemic happened and shares comes down, he can book the loss, get you out of it. But as I said, the risk still remains, right? Similarly, if you hedge the equity, which means if you buy Facebook shares in derivatives, right? Or if you buy actual stock certificates of Facebook, but short sell in your derivatives account and create a hedge, that means that eliminates, that reduces your market risk. So as you can see where equity hedge is right now, it is slightly away from passive equities and more away from active equities on market risk area. So creating a hedge does reduces your market risk, but the best way to reduce market risk is to have a market neutral strategy. Market neutral strategy means, in a very simple word, if you are trading in Pepsi and Coke, you buy Pepsi and you short sell Coke. Because these two are so relatable products, we expect that if one goes up, other will also follow, right? So the loss in your short selling could be less than the profit in your buying position. That's the idea, and we'll go this further. I'll show you how to take these trades in the online platform, just right now trying to make the concept more clear to you. But also, if you see on the left vertical axis, we are talking about security specific risk. Now, when you buy a couple of shares and keep it for 5 years, 10 years, passive equities, your security specific risk is less, which means something specifically is not going to affect Facebook. If there is no pandemic, right, and Facebook prices are just going normally, the chances of your Facebook stock going down is only if either something happens to the broader market which will push down all the equities, right, or something happens specifically in Facebook. Now that can be a problem in a management, or a violation privacy, anything. But otherwise, if you have bought shares and kept it, or if you hire a fund manager and he's actively helping you out to buy and sell, specific risk on that particular security can be less. But when it comes to market neutral, your risk in Pepsi and Coke specifically is high, because if this gap between Pepsi and Coca-Cola, which is this much, if it increases any further, then you are in a loss, Okay, and we'll explain this. I'll explain it to you how this works right now, just trying to make you understand how the concept works. So market neutral strategies can be of different kinds, and we'll go through some of these strategies also. Okay, please be ready with your questions. I'm sure every one of you will have a lot of questions. I will keep switching to my live platform also. Now let's try to understand some market neutral strategies, how this work. Now you understood what is the idea. The idea is, first, these fluctuations which are happening up and down, up and down, up and down, to protect your portfolio from these fluctuations on your portfolio, you try to use some market neutral strategy, so that if market crashes or market goes up, your portfolio should not get affected due to that volatility. Risk will always be there, but that will be a different kind of risk, which I am coming on to now. Now, next, to begin with, market neutral strategies, the first form, there are two kinds of strategies in broader sense. One is called statistical arbitrage, and other is called fundamental arbitrage. Statistical arbitrage, it will involve technical analysis, it will involve uh, understanding the ratios between two instruments. So if Pepsi is $100, Coke is $50, the ratio of prices between Pepsi and Coke is 2:1, right? So the ratio is 2. The prices of Pepsi and Coke, if Pepsi price is 100 and Coke price is 50, which means the ratio of Pepsi and Coke stock prices is 2. You 100 divided by 50. Now, if that ratio goes from 2 to 3, that means numerator, which is Pepsi, went up, but Coke is still at the same price. Or if the ratio from 2 goes to 1, that means Pepsi is same, but Coke prices went up, the denominator went up, right? So on similar basis, how do you do a statistical arbitrage? You first of all, you bring two relatable products. Okay, two relatable products which are same, almost the same, which have the same movement, which belong to the same category. So Mastercard, Visa, Pepsi, Coke, uh, Walt Disney, and Viacom, companies like this, right? Or in terms of metals, when we talk about gold and silver, in terms of oil, when we talk about okay, guys, I'm getting some signal issues. Please, if somebody is not able to hear me, or if you can hear me properly, can you just say okay or yes on the chat, so I can just be I can modify otherwise, or I'll just try to boost up the signal, because I can reconnect again. If you can hear me, just give me a yes or a okay. Okay, so I think most of you can hear me. Anybody who has issues, there will be a recording on YouTube as well. So please reach out, and you can again revisit this. Right. So coming back, what happens is, we find two relatable products like Pepsi, Coke, Mastercard, Visa, gold, silver. Between oils, when you see, you're talking about UK oil and US oil, Brent and WTI oil, two kind of relatable products. Or oil and gasoline, or oil and low sulfur gas oil, which is byproduct, right? So like this, you find relatable products. Study the movement gap, which means if you're looking at Brent and gasoline, and both of them have moved like this, but at any point of time you saw their price ratio went like this. Now, if historically it has come like this and then deviated, now the trade which you will take will be to bring this back. So if this gap historically has been going like this and then just elevated, right, which means either this went up or this went down for some reason, historically the gap has been this, so it will close. Now, when it will close, what you need to do is you need to short sell this or buy this, so the gap, if you're expecting the gap to narrow. This is exactly how pair trades work. So we call this as pair trading. Simultaneously, buying and selling stocks of companies in the same sector or same peer, uh, the correlations will be very close. Any two instruments whose correlation is more than 80 or more than 90, it could be something which can help you to find out opportunity in pair trading. Correlations means if this goes up, this goes up. If this goes up, this goes up. This comes down, this comes down. That's the kind of correlation we are looking for, right? When you're taking the trade, it can be the same number. So if you're buying this much value, you should short sell this much value of the other product. Guys, very quickly, because this is really important for me to understand, um, how many of you actually understand short selling, because this will help me to tell you uh, in a much better way. One second. How do you know how to short sell? Yes and no. Okay. I will keep for myself. Very quickly, guys, I'm just putting this on vote. How many of you do you know how to short sell? Otherwise, I will explain it to you on the live platform what short selling is, and then it will be easy for you to understand strategies in a much better way. Very quickly, guys, I think I'll give you another a minute to vote for this so I can understand what's the composition. Okay. Okay. I think just 5 more seconds before we end this. All right. Okay. So I have majority of people understand how short selling works. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll very quickly I'll go through these strategies, but let me very quickly in a very small period of time let me explain it to you how short selling works, and then it will be much easier for you to understand this. Now let me just show you this. This is a sanitizer which I have right now. Okay. Now consider I did not have the sanitizer with me. Okay, this is a bottle of sanitizer. We expect that the pandemic is about to get over, which means in the next 1 month, pandemic will be over. The price of this sanitizer will naturally come down because if the pandemic is over, then the demand for sanitizers will be less. Let's expect that, right? Now, I did not have this bottle with me, but one thing which I got to know that price of sanitizer bottle is going to go down. Now, I want to make profit on this. So what do? I reach you out. Okay. Let's say a person who's attending my webinar, I reach you out and say that do you have a bottle of sanitizer? You said yes, I do have. So I told you, I asked you that can I borrow this bottle of sanitizer from you? You said okay. So I borrowed this bottle of sanitizer from you. Now when I borrowed it, the price of this sanitizer bottle is $10. Okay. I borrowed it from you and you did not charge me any money, but I know its value is $10. So what I did when I borrowed it from you, I sold it in the market. Borrowed it from you, sold it in the market, and now when I sold it in the market, I received $10. Now this $10, here it is. This $10 I keep it with myself, and now I just wait till the pandemic gets over. Now when the pandemic gets over, the price of that bottle of sanitizer, which was $10, comes down to 5. Now I go back to the market. From my $10, I give 5, get the bottle of sanitizer. I still have my $5 remaining. That's my profit, and I give the bottle of sanitizer to you because I borrowed it from you. Now that's how short selling works. That you borrow from your broker and you sell live in the market, and when price comes down, you buy it back and keep the price difference. So you make money when prices fall down. So when you are doing a pair trade, you are buying one. Okay, you're buying one product which is down right now. So if it goes up, you will make profit on selling, and you're short selling the one which is already high. So if it comes down, you make a profit. So that's why pair trade is possible. That's why market neutral strategies are possible. You buy one and you sell another, short sell another relatable product. For more information on this, please reach me out and I will have a one-on-one conversation with those people who do not understand short selling. Majority of you do. So let's proceed further and understand what are these other pair trading strategies. Now we are talking about simultaneously buying and selling, right? Now I will share with you. Let me very quickly share this flyer. Okay, let's take first of all example of something easy which we can do. let's say oil to begin with. Okay. Now, guys, this is again a pair trade. Now, this one is between commodities, right? Now, I hope everybody can see this flyer. What we did, now this is the first pair trade, and we'll use the live platform also to do this. Gasoline is petrol, and crude oil Brent is the UK crude oil, which is raw. It comes from the North Sea. Saudi, Russia, Europe is concerned with this oil. Okay. Brent oil and gasoline. Now, these two are very relatable instruments. Crude oil is the raw crude oil and then gets extracted, and then other kinds of products are formed. Your petrol, low sulfur, everything is a part of this, right? So, gasoline and Brent, the oil, the raw oil and the petrol, they have a very strong correlation, and the strong correlation means if one goes up, other also goes up. One goes down, other also goes down. But what's not known is that on a month on month basis, as you can see in the strategy, gasoline has outperformed Brent oil, which is your crude oil, between the period of September to December in 8 out of the last 10 years, with the average return being 5.6%. When I say outperform, that means it has outperformed both ways. If Brent went up by this much, then gasoline went up by this much. If Brent goes down by this much, then gasoline went down by this much, right? So it has outperformed Brent, whether it goes up or down. Now, especially, so as I say, they have a very strong correlation. But during the month of September to December, out of last 10 years, we have seen 8 times gasoline, it has outperformed Brent, right? So what we do in this case, and let me show you the numbers over here. And this is the back-tested data from Bloomberg. You can always come to our office, and I'll show you how this is done. Just 1 second. Yeah. Now look at these numbers. This is the first pair trade which I am showing it to you. So this is back-tested results for past 10 years based on monthly opening and closing prices. September to December performance. Please understand this. This is the performance of last 10 years between Brent and gasoline, and this is between September to December. Buy gasoline if you bought gasoline and if you short sell Brent, okay, Brent oil. If you bought gasoline and short sell Brent in 2010, return would be 10%. In 2011, 4%, which means when you're buying gasoline and short selling Brent, that means what happened in 2010, gasoline and Brent, this particular strategy, net produced 10% return, which means gasoline would have gone up, let's say, by 20%, and Brent could have gone down by 10%. Sorry, Brent could have also gone up by 10%, which means net you lost 10% in Brent, but you made 20% in gasoline. So your net result is 10%, right? So that's why you buy one and you short sell another, because they will move in the similar direction. The only thing is, the idea will be one will outperform another. Now, in this case, how gasoline has outperformed in 2010, this strategy made 10%. 2011, if you bought gasoline and short sell Brent, you would make 4% net. 2012, 18%. 2013, just 2% between September to December. 2014, 8%. 2015, 25%. 2016, 12%. 2017, if you see, a negative return of 22% if you did this strategy. 2018, 0%, nothing happened, break even. 2019, however, negative 3%, which was last year. Now, hit ratio of the strategy out of 10, last 10 years, it is 80%. Average return generated, if you compare total returns divided by 10, 5.6%. Now, let's understand the theory bit of it. Besides, two instruments have a very strong correlation of more than 80%. There's a huge deviation in this ratio. And when I say ratio, that means how did I calculate ratio between Pepsi and Coke? I divided the prices. So when I see the price ratio, that means the price of gasoline versus the price of Brent, there's a ratio which has a historical average, that this is the historical average, but it has been deviating from its historical average. Now, this is where you get an entry signal. If it is going like this, you don't enter now. You only enter when this ratio becomes bigger or deviate. Now, whenever this ratio returns to the average, this is where your exit is. Okay. So backtested results based on the above strategy exhibit the X amount of profit in the last amount of 10 years, 100,000 exposure. That's again the specifics of the investment. Important thing, it is not something which is risk free. Please remember this, because when the price of two securities move opposite, they take losses, which means what happens is, let's say the pair was this much. Okay. Let's say Brent came down and you were buy on Brent, or gasoline came down, you were buy on gasoline, and you were short sell on Brent, but Brent went up. So both the situations you are making a loss. So when gap is deviated, there's a possibility that it might deviate more. You never know. So that could be your idea of that's where the loss happens. But again, as I said, that's why you pick two instruments which have the highest correlation with each other. Now, currently, the gasoline Brent pair is giving a buy signal. You buy gasoline and you sell Brent. You expect the ratio to increase further. Okay. Now, in this case, we are expecting ratio to go higher. Current ratio is 2.7. Highest in the last 5 years was 4.0, while the lowest was 1.5 on daily closing basis. But guys, this is made on 20th August. It's been a month, right? If you see the current ratio, you can always calculate the ratio by dividing the prices, and you will realize that there have been changes to the ratio also. The low was made in March when the pandemic created chaos in the financial markets. So let me show you this chart here. Now, since 2015 to 2020, you see these small green dots over here, right? Now, these green dots, what you see, these are your support areas, right here, right here, right here, here, here. Most of the time, the ratio has come here, it has bounced back, okay, right here. Somebody asked me that why does it outperform between September December? So guys, see, again, when I say the pair trade and statistical arbitrage is completely based on the hypothesis and historical figures. Okay, there may or may not be a fundamental reason of why it outperformed, because if you see last 10 years, in last 10 years, out of last 10, 8 times gasoline has outperformed Brent between September to December, right? But if you see 2 times, it has not, the strategy has not worked well. To make it more understandable, because see, it fundamentally, it may not make much sense to understand this, that why it happens, because gasoline between September to December, especially in winters, gasoline prices may not move higher, because normally there are winters, a lot of snow on the road, cars do not work that much, so demand for gasoline is less. But this is not on the basis of going up or down. This is on the basis of that September to December is, if Brent fall by this much, then gasoline fell by this much, right? So that again, gasoline outperformed here. So the idea is that you buy gasoline and you short sell Brent, and if gasoline outperforms and Brent does not, then that's where you make your money. Historically, these ratios are, so what happens is these ratios are calculated at a certain level, that let's say the average between the ratio of this prices is 2.79. Now, if you see in 2015, every time if it comes around 2.7 levels, these green dots, it bounces, the ratio goes up, again goes up. See here goes up 2018, 2019, 2019 mid, and now again it came to 2020, right? So you can always go to the platform and calculate the current ratio and see what will be the ratio at that point of time. Now, as I said again, gasoline and Brent, these are 80% correlation, okay? And whatever amount you will invest, so please understand your risk on it. There's a maximum drawdown on a $100,000 exposure and a max drawdown which we have seen is $40,000. So there is a 40% of the maximum drawdown which we see if you do not book your loss or if you continue to hold on to it for a longer period of time. After that, again it deviates. Whereas the profit and loss in last 10.5 years collectively 176. So again, guys, profit percentage you see 177%, but this is for 10 years, right? It's up to you for how long you're going to hold this trade. There is an element of storage cost also which you receive, because when you are short selling Brent, you are basically borrowing the commodity and selling it in the market. So you receive a certain amount of cash, and the cash is deemed to be invested somewhere, out of which you receive an interest on it. So by default, there is a certain interest which you receive when you short sell a commodity, right? So that also is counted in returns. So that storage cost or that interest, it keeps changing month on month depending upon how the instrument has been moving, right? So again, there are various levels to it, but it is really easy to understand. We have to continue further and further. If you have any questions, please keep writing, and you have a one-on-one conversation with me. Anyone who has questions, and I will be able to explain you more in the platform, right? So this is one strategy which we are looking at, gasoline and Brent. Now, similarly, there's another strategy. Let me switch from here to another one. Okay, let's take sugar. Now, again, guys, again, I'm showing you between the commodities. I showed you oil. Similar strategy has been, and what has been done between Brent and gasoline. It has been done between gasoline and low sulfur gas oil also. Okay, you can talk to your relationship managers. It's again a similar strategy, and it is the what is the current performance of that strategy. You can speak to your relationship managers, and they will show you and explain it to you as well. Now, this is another strategy which is between sugar raw and sugar white. Sugar raw and sugar white. There are two kinds of sugar. Similarly, there are two kinds of coffee as well. Uh, Sugar raw and sugar white, same correlation above 80%. But between September to November, this 1 month, we have seen that sugar raw has outperformed sugar white in 9 out of last 10 years. While the reverse is true between period of March and May. Now that you're getting two entry and exits here. Sugar raw outperformed sugar white between September to November, but between March to May, sugar white outperforms sugar raw. So there are two entry and exit rates, which two opportunities which you can get. So what we saw, this is the performance of sugar raw and sugar white between September to November for the last 10 years. Okay. And if you see that if you buy sugar raw and you short sell sugar white between September to November, look here. In 2010, sugar raw prices went up by 39%. Sugar white prices went up by 23%, which means if you bought sugar raw, you made 39% return. But if you short sell sugar white, you lost 23% because you were short sell on sugar white and sugar white went up by 23%. But you were buy on sugar raw, so sugar raw went up by 39%. So your net return is 17%, right? Similarly, in 2011, sugar raw went down by 20%, sugar white also went down by 20%, 0%, right? Your net return zero. In 2012, sugar raw went down by 2%, so your buying loss is 2%, but sugar white went down by 8%, so your profit on short selling position is 8, net return 6%. Like this, if you see 2013, 2014, 2015, in 2015, sugar raw went up by 40% and sugar white went up by 18%. So that you make 40% on sugar raw, but you lost 18% on sugar white. So your net return 21%. Now, while we are doing this, please understand the market neutral concept of it. Market neutral concept in 2015 oil prices were chaotic. right? Because there was a manufacturing slump in China. I was about to come and oil prices went down to 27. So commodities market, energy markets were rattled, stock markets were down. But between all of this, if you were trading between sugar raw and sugar white, you will be generating your net returns, right? In 2016, while stock markets crashed, if you had done strategy of sugar, you would be losing 0.7% because both came down by 1%. 2017, 2018, out of last 10 years, we have seen 9 times between September to November, sugar raw prices go up, or sorry, sugar raw prices, they outperform sugar white. Even if sugar price goes up, raw goes up further and white not that much. So your loss in short selling is compensated by a higher profit in the buying position, right? So again, guys, this is historical numbers. This data is backtested from Bloomberg itself. You have doubts, you have any questions which you think will be more easier for you to ask face to face, come to my office, sit and understand the risk element of this strategy. Where are the risks? What are the expected movement, or what is the expected return on this? How it can deviate from your target, everything. Understand this first and then think about investing. This is right now only for information purposes, right? Now let me quickly come back to the presentation here. So I move further. So this is your statistical arbitrage, okay, between two relatable commodities: oil and low sulfur gas oil, gasoline and Brent oil, sugar raw and sugar white, corn and oats, two agro commodities also you can look into. Right here. Okay. Now, another kind of statistical arb, apart from pair trading, you can see is sub trading. Sub trading is when you buy and sell shorts of a parent company and subsidiary. To make this further, there is something what we call as multi-class trades. Now, multi-class trades work when you buy and sell same company stocks but different classes of shares. Now how that works out, let me show you a live example, and for this I have to take you to my live platform. Please keep writing questions over here, so that will be easy for you to. Okay, somebody asking what are the typical minimum contract sizes. See, in on exchange, for example, sugar contracts is around 112,000 units, but because you are using this platform for derivatives, there is no minimum contract size. You can buy sugar worth any amount, and you can sell another sugar worth any amount. But obviously, it has to be uh, same amount for both. But minimum or maximum is not. There is no lot size to this particular trades, because these are derivatives. On exchange, if you are doing the same thing, you will have to buy a minimum contract. But over here, let's say you want to buy $20,000 worth raw and short sell $20,000 worth white, you can do it. Okay, it depends on how much risk you're willing to take. But please understand, arbitrage is a high volume game. That means that you are literally trading on the gap. And if gap increases, let's say you make profit. But for this gap, your quantities needs to be a slightly higher. That means do not take higher leverage, but at least if you are taking a trade worth $100,000, then you need to have $100,000, because if you put 10,000 and take a leverage of 10 times, it will be very risky for your portfolio. High leverage is always risky for your portfolio. So decide how much money you are willing to invest, and again, most importantly, how much you are willing to risk. That's the most important bit. So yeah, there is no typical minimum contract size. You can trade as per the value you wish to, but understand that investing a certain amount, what is the return and risk expected, and then you proceed further. Now, the one which you see, this is your live account, what you're looking at currently right now. I was discussing about different, so multi-class arbitrage. What happens here? There are every company, not every company, but a lot of companies, they have a different classes of shares. Like Alphabet is Google. Okay, Alphabet has a class A share, which is right here, 1459, and then Alphabet also has class C shares, right here. Look at here. So let me clean the last background so you can easily see where I'm trying to focus on. Okay. Now, if you see Alphabet A, Alphabet C, one of these shares, if you take the delivery later on using any other platform, if you take the delivery of the stock, Alphabet A or C, one of this class will have voting rights for the shareholders. Okay, but both of them does not have the same privilege. But then these two are traded separately, but it's the same company, right? Alphabet. But one class has voting rights, another class does not have voting rights. But whenever there is a gap which is higher between Alphabet A and C, that's when the arbitrage opportunities comes in. So historically, if I have seen that the gap between Alphabet A and Alphabet C is $5, which we see right now. If the difference between both the company shares have $5 difference, that means it has always been five, so it's okay. But imagine if this $5 gap becomes $8. Now that's where my arbitrage opportunity will start, because if this becomes $8, I know historically it's always been five. So what I will do, I will short sell Alphabet C and I will buy Alphabet A, which means I'm expecting this gap to reduce, which means either Alphabet C will come down and book profit for me, or Alphabet A will go up and book profit for me. So either way, I'm looking for a market neutral. Now, in this, whether Alphabet stocks goes up or down, my trade will not react to the market movement. Let's say Google stocks fell, right? But my trade is not on Google stock. My trade is not on Alphabet stock. My trade is the difference between Alphabet A and Alphabet C. So that's what makes it a market neutral strategy, right? Guys, if you always much more appreciated if you take a demo account for your RMs and try to replicate these trades and see it for yourself. How does it work for you, right? So again, this is something which is unique investments strategies which we see, and this is between multi. So this is a multi-class. Now, coming back, another strategy what we see in pair trades apart from multi-class. Now we move on to. So I told you there are two kinds of arbitrage, right? Statistical and fundamental. Statistical, we understood a couple of pair trades. I have a few more strategies, and if everybody stays, I'll be very happy to show you this. But so statistical is when you back test numbers, you trade on ratios and see how it has worked out. It involves a lot of technical indicators, moving averages, and this is already done by the consultants here. So you just have to come sit with them and understand, what is the idea. Similarly, fundamental arbitrage consists of building portfolios in industry by buying the strongest companies, selling the short companies which are showing sign of weakness. Now understand how this works. And for this, let me introduce you to a product which is available to you, something called as share baskets. Share baskets is in your product library and you can easily find here. Click on share baskets and right here. What is a share basket? As the name suggests, this will be a basket where, so if you see 5G basket on the top, 5G basket will show you, you can trade in this basket, you can see it going up and down, you can buy and sell this basket, but this basket consists of all those companies, let's say 25 to 30 companies, which are involved into distribution or using 5G technology. Could be Vodafone, could be Apple, could be Qualcomm, any company. So all these combined together, and the movement of 5G basket goes up and down on the basis of the performance of how the companies in the basket they're working, right? I hope it's an easy concept to understand, some just like how a fund works, right? So this is the basket only of those specific industry related shares. Similarly, if you see second last second last streaming basket, second last streaming basket, and let me show you. So this strategy or this fundamental arbitrage, what we call, we started calling this leaders and laggards. And in India, if you do this strategy in Indian traders in India, they call it 80-20 strategy. The idea is very simple. This streaming basket, second last, is made up of a number of companies, right? Which ones? So let me show you right here is okay. And yeah, so I've shared a flyer with you. I hope everybody can see this. Leaders versus laggards. So fundamental arbitrage says that look at this particular basket. This basket is made of these companies. 96% or 94% of the weightage of this basket is given to companies like Alphabet, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, Disney, right? So if you see this right here, 94% of the basket weightage is given to Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, Disney, Roku, right? These are the companies. 6% of this basket weightage is going to AT&T, Viacom, Fox Corp, which means this basket is made of 94% of the basket moves on the basis of the performance given by Alphabet, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, the big ones. 6% of the weightage AT&T, Viacom, Fox Corp, and Comcast. If you now see how it changes here, if you scroll down, look at the last 5 years performance of the leaders. Leaders means the 94% weightage which is given to Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Disney, Netflix, and Roku. Last 5 years performance, Alphabet gone up by 173%, Amazon has gone up by 700%, Apple has gone up by 170%, Disney has gone up by 12%, Netflix gone up by 800%, right? On an average, 380% growth in collectively among the leaders. How about the laggards? Laggards are the ones, if you see AT&T, Comcast, Fox, and Viacom, last 5 years the performance is negative, average 24% down. That means if you bought the leaders and short sell the laggards, right now you'll be making around 383% on an average on leaders and 24% growth on laggards. Why 24% growth? Because you buy the leaders and you short sell the laggards, right? So you make 383 plus 24% of that in the last 5 years. This strategy is also called 80-20 in India, where when you see an index, let's say Nifty, you buy 80% of the performing good performers and then you short sell the last 20%, which means the buyers, the leaders are going to do well, laggards are not going to do well. So this is again a fundamental arbitrage. So how do you take this trade? You buy equal value of, so you buy the streaming basket, okay, and you short sell the same. So if you're buying $100,000 worth basket, you short sell $25,000 worth AT&T, Comcast, Fox Corp, four stocks, 25,000 each. So your exposure is equal, market neutral, right? So this is something, guys, this is something which has been done in the past. And again, every strategy, what I'm doing here, so somebody just rightly pointed out the fangs are on steroids, may not be sustainable. So see, this is something again very good observation, because tech stocks, what we saw last few days, tech stocks have been going completely high, and then in last 2 weeks tech stocks starts going down, right? Now, because you talked about FANG, let me very quickly share with you how you could keep yourself away from the market movement by doing this. See, so we had come up with something called FANG plus Russell. Okay, I hope everybody can see this right now. FANG plus Russell strategy. Start again here. Yeah. Now, FANG plus Russell where you buy FANG and you short sell small cap. Now, movement among FANG, that's why when somebody said that the FANG, the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, they're on steroids, they might not be really sustainable. The very reason behind this was that that's why if you only take an exposure in FANG, you are actually taking a higher risk. But if you short sell an index towards it, let's say what I did, I bought FANG, but I short sell a small cap index of US. Now, if you see the returns quarter on quarter for this particular index right here, look, FANG quarterly return above 6%. Small cap went up by 4%, which means I was short selling small cap, so I lost 4%, but I was long on FANG, so I made 6%. My net return 2%. From 2015 till 2019, all these quarter by quarter, if you see, if you long FANG and short US, there have been areas 2016 March, there was a loss of minus 2%, 30th June loss of minus 3%, 30th December 2016 loss of 8%, and then 7% and 5. But apart from that, if you see from 2015 to 2019, majority of times, if you were buy on FANG and short sell on Russell, you ended up making a net return. Okay, there are profits and losses both, but imagine what it will do to your portfolio if you're not doing this strategy, if you're just plain buying shares and keeping it. Because stock market if has fallen down by say 40%, for example, but if you are doing this strategy, your loss is only 2% or 3% because you're doing FANG plus Russell, right? And even the return which you see, let's say is 10% or 14%. If you see here, the return is 14%, return is 10%, right? Which can also beat the average market returns. So idea for market neutral strategy more than making money is, of course, first of all, to keep your loss reduced. So this was a very good observation. Somebody said that fangs are on steroids may not be really sustainable. So what you need to do is you don't need to take only exposure in fang. That's why the market neutral strategy is needed. You pair FANG with small cap. You use the streaming basket. You buy the leaders. You short sell the laggards. So the idea is that these kind of strategies historically have shown that pairing them with the relatable assets reduces the market risk. So the first chart what we saw in the beginning was that how doing neutral market neutral strategies reduces the market risk, right? Now guys, similar things have been done on gold spot and future, the arbitrage, silver spot and future arbitrage. 25th September onwards, we'll see platinum arbitrage also. So to know more about these things, now today was just a concept of that how the market neutral strategies work. Okay. Now, if you need to know more about this, that which are other strategies, because there are a lot of strategies. There are strategies which are going on currently between US banks versus UK banks. Look at this. This is one last thing which I want to discuss with you. Look at the performance of US banks share basket, and then look at UK bank share basket. If you were buy on US banks and short on UK banks since 2010, in last 10 years there has been only one instance in 2012 where you have seen a negative return, which means, and in last 10 years markets have gone chaotically up and down, right? But if you had bought US bank basket and shorted UK banks basket, you would have seen returns for last 10 years positive every time, except 2012 when it went negative, right? So the idea is very simple, guys. Over a period of 10 years, markets have gone up and down so crazy. But because you are exposed to market neutral strategies, like you buy US banks basket, you short sell UK banks. So there is a certain amount of net return which has been historically seen. This is again statistical arbitrage, right? So this is, you need more reasoning behind this, how this is done, what are the other ways to do it. Please come to my office or talk to me on Zoom or have a one-on-one session. Whether you're a client or not a client, this is something, it's a very valuable information. So I'm always up for discussion on this. Guys, anyone has any questions, I will be ready to take it now. So I think already we have spent an hour on this, so I hope with these strategies you must have got some idea about how these strategies work, got must have got some idea about how short selling works. To know more about this, please reach us out and we'll be more than happy to explain to you that how to carefully formulate a market neutral strategy. Uh, we can also, assess your risk and explain it to you that what are the risk and reward in this. Please come and talk to us. Somebody just asked that gold and silver arbitrage, how it happens. So it's very simple. The difference between spot and the December contract was $70, and now it has come down to 4. So basically, you short sell the future contract, you buy the spot, and yes, there has been a huge volatility. A lot of people, they have invested into these arbitrage. Silver arbitrage is something which is also very active going on. uh, just very quickly, if I share you, and this is the live movement which happened in case of gold, spot and future, and you can check it in your platforms. Guys, this was done on 16th of July. You can see the date between here, 16 July 2020. And if you see that time, the gap was around $28. Sorry, yeah, right here. It was $28. If you see this chart here, this was $28 and this was in July. Today, if you go and see the difference between spot and futures, it is hardly $5. So this is $15 if you have 100 ounce. We're talking about $1,500 up and down, right? So please come to my office or connect us on Zoom. Talk to us about this, and we will be able to explain you more about market neutral. To summarize it, the market neutral strategies, whatever you saw today, the market neutral strategies are specifically designed to provide you a market neutral way, or to save you from the volatility what comes next, because there will be US elections, guys. There will be October, there will be earnings season also. So you have so many events coming up. You need to be very careful that just being buy on equities is not going to help you to make money or to save you from the risk. Forget about making money, but think about what you're exposing yourself to, right? Is there any risk? Of course, which I explained it to you multiple times, that sometimes ratios navigate on a different direction. Gold spot and futures prices also, the ratio went up also, but it came down eventually. So of course there are risks, and but we can tell you how to minimize these. You just need to come and talk to us or have a Zoom call. Will be available. So guys, if you like this session, please go on Google reviews Century Financial, talk about our webinars. Please, if you have someone who's interested in even knowing that how these things work, just bring them to these webinars. This is just free of cost flow of information. And this is something which you can easily find on Google, but I'm just filtering it out for you and giving it to you. So there is no charge to this. Anytime anyone wants to have a one-on-one conversation with me and wants to understand this, we'll be more than happy to share this with you. So with this, thank you so much, guys. Once again, please review us, rate us, and give your feedback whether this information was any helpful to you. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions. Somebody's asking about demo account. Please talk to your relationship managers. They will be able to give you demo accounts, and they will help you to even do trades on those demo accounts, and make you trade live in the markets only on the demo accounts to begin with, right? And if you want to have a one-on-one training session on the platform, you can reach me out. Somebody asked steps of opening the account. Steps of opening the account, it's a later thing. You just have to submit documents and fill the form online, and it will be easy. So again, talk to your relationship managers. You can do that, right? Once again, guys, thank you so much for being a part of this session. And on behalf of Century Financial, my team and myself, I wish a great health to all of you. These are difficult times, and I hope that we pass through it. Once again, we are able to conduct these, in the future. Let's hope that we will be able to conduct more seminars and bring more people in and talk to them face to face, and spread more and more awareness about financial markets. And once again, a big thanks to everyone who is involved into healthcare or medical industry, or who have people who are involved into medical industry. Thank you for risking out your life every single day. And please be safe. Uh, Wear your mask. Protect yourself. Do not get into gatherings. There may or may not be a second wave coming, so you need to be very careful. Let's contribute together in saving each other. Be safe, more than important. Keep yourself at home, and keep yourself invested. Do not get scared of investment. If somebody had invested during the pandemic, would have made more money and than anyone who had invested in the last 2 years. So remember this thing. Be invested, be safe, and I'll talk to you again. We'll meet next week with a different session at a different time. Till then, talk to me, talk to your RMs, and we'll be able to provide more information. Right? You have a good day, everyone. My name is Yogesh. Let's be in touch.